real, isn't it?
What the hell is going on?
We now offer you a 45-second head start.
Thank you for chatting with me today. I very much enjoyed the film. And Aimee, I would love to start with you. The film eviscerates privilege and class issues. And there's that brilliant scene where Chef asks you where you went to college and whether or not you have student loans.
Right.
I thought it was fantastic.
So good.
Yeah, so good. So I wonder if you would touch a little bit on how the film really takes on this idea of food as a rarefied, privileged thing.
Well, it's so interesting you say that because, food is a necessity for everyone. Everyone needs food. And yet, in this context, it's been elevated to such a degree that only a certain class of people can have this kind of food. And it's become so out of touch for the masses that I thought that was so smart to deliver this message on the back of dining, because we all have to eat. And so even our most basic necessity can be commodified. It can be, capitalized to this degree where, it's like, we all got to do it, but some people can do it better. And so I thought that was really interesting. And, recently, in recent years, the political climate being what it is, there's been, this increased call, like, to eat the rich, right? And it is about that, but it also is about how we consume, and in this film in particular, these people consume everything, even the most delicious, perfectly crafted meal, at such a rate that they're not even enjoying it. So I thought that was a cool sort of point.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And John, your character is presumably there because you made some bad art. And Chef is an artist, which is interesting because he's also worried about class, but he considers himself in some ways above your character, I presume. I wonder if you would talk a little bit about the kind of notion of playing with different levels of art versus entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, the whole movie is kind of about elitism and snobbery. Keeping people out. It's about keeping people out. We're in a select bubble. We're special. We're unique. We're better than everybody else, and keeping the others out. And it's the same thing with art. There's a lot of artists who think they're better than everybody else, and they don't want to mix with the mediocre artists who taint your art and might contaminate you, make you mediocre. So I think that's what he's talking about. My character's a washed-up action star who's trying to come up with a Food Network show to revitalize his career, and Aimee is sort of kind of my nurse, therapist, even though she's my assistant. Yeah. She's playing a lot of different roles, trying to help this guy function because he's falling apart. Really, it looks like he's together, but he's not.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, thank you. And Aimee, I do really find the kind of chemistry between your characters kind of fascinating because I couldn't really put my finger on what they were to each other. So I wonder if you would just kind of dive into that a little bit.
Well, John, one of the things I love about John, many things, you're relentless in your, it's in a good way.
She loves my relentlessness.
Yeah, you're relentless
so does my mom.
in your pursuit of making something as good as it can be. And so
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, we had like a lot of great conversations about and listen, I've known his work for so long. I'm coming into it. Nobody knows who I am. I understand my position in this, relationship. So I just wanted to be available to you. And I didn't know if you were going to be collaborative. I didn't know if you were going to care, if you just wanted to do your work and go home. But it was really nice to have so many conversations about backstory. And obviously John is a brilliant theater actor on top of all of his on-camera work. So I shouldn't be surprised, but it's always a surprise when someone that is at his level wants to collaborate with you. So we had a lot of conversations about that. And I think ultimately, and this was in the script as far as like playing with the power dynamic, right? So you have a movie star who you think would have all the power, but his assistant's like Hollywood royalty, right? Like her mother runs a studio. And so he needs something from me more than I need something from him. And it happens also in Janet's relationship with Paul, the food critic with the editor, right? The food critic has all the power. The editor has very little power. And that is just part of the wonderful dynamic of the whole
Right,
script.
flipping the dynamics.
Flipping
of
the
things.
dynamics, yeah.
And it was great working with Aimee because she's such a great improviser, but not just on the comic level, she also finds the heart and soul of the character. And that's such a rare quality to find in an actor, somebody who can be as funny and witty and get the timing, but also go down deep when it's needed. And that made it so fun to improvise with her. And she understands the plot and the character, because you need all that dialogue to somehow make it to the movie.
Right.
You can ad-lib your ass off, but it ain't gonna make it to the movie.
Right. It'll make the beat, like, the quick bloopers or
BTS
whatever.
behind the
BTS,
scenes,
yeah.
but who wants to be on that?
Yeah.